Hey guys, how's it going? Jeremy Hansen here. I've been working on finishing up the editing for my next book coming out, Matters of State. Blood of the Wolf, Matters of State. It's the sequel to my first book in the series, Blood of the Wolf. It's a sci-fi werewolf novel, kind of trying to take a new look at the genre of werewolves instead of the bloodthirsty beasts you've been seeing in the movies and other storylines. I'm kind of working on it being more of an alien race that are guardians of the planet. Anyways, that aside, the subtitle of this, Matters of State, kind of brought to mind something that's been going over and over in my head. And it has a little bit to do with it has a lot of bit to do with the whole Kavanaugh case going on right now. I was watching the trial earlier this week, or at the beginning of this week, and seeing the testimonies and everything, and I don't know if he did it. I don't know if Ford's lying. I can tell you, I'm not getting good feelings from it. And as I was watching all of this really huge wave of ugly energy just kind of washed over me. It had my stomach all twisted up, and I mean, I'm used to that. I'm used to sensing things like that. I've felt energies like that ever since I was a little kid. I mean, I'm an empath, a psychic, a clairvoyant. I don't necessarily sit in an office giving people readings on their love lives, but I do. I help out friends from time to time, giving them the impressions that I'm feeling, or try to get them in contact with a loved one on the other side. That being said, though, back to the Kavanaugh trial, and it has a lot to do with what I have been saying. Things aren't looking good with this FBI investigation as far as the evidence that they're going to be able to come up with against Kavanaugh. I really got a good feeling that he's going to be getting elected to the Supreme Court. And that being the case, if that does happen, with everything that has surrounded this man, and I don't know, the Democrats, the whatever, feminist party, whoever it is that's coming after him with these allegations, there's going to be some heavy repercussions. And I don't know if everybody was kind of ready for what's going to occur, or at least what I'm sensing is going to occur. Because a lot of this came to pass due to Roe versus Wade. They knew his stance on it, and they knew that there was definitely a possibility that if he were to be put on the Supreme Court, he would be overturning Roe versus Wade. Okay, well, maybe that is going to happen, and I mean, my own personal feelings aside, I'm not pro-choice. I'm definitely pro-life. I mean, with the minor exceptions that, if you were raped, if that child, I mean, it's absolutely sure that it's going to be deformed and is just going to have a miserable life if it's born. Then all right, yeah, I can see the rare cases where it is necessary, but this idea that we can just use abortion as a form of birth control, it's outlandish, outrageous. to not hold life sacred, to just, I don't know. Everybody's got their own view on it. But anyways, back to what I was saying about this whole Kavanaugh case is that now we've got these allegations coming down against him, and being that this was 36 years ago that this supposedly happened, there's really no concrete evidence that can be brought to bear to really sway anybody. You're going on conjecture, on someone's word. There's no footage, no real witnesses, no nothing. We're just saying, hey, he did it. Believe the survivor. But that's a crappy argument, because believe the survivor states that no one lies, no one makes up a story. If someone says a survivor or says they're a survivor, just believe them because they say so. You can't do that. It's like stating that, well, especially now with them really kind of putting these female survivors up on this shelf like they're infallible. I mean, it's crap. There's so much going on in the news right now. So much lying going on when the truth comes out. And speaking from my own personal experience, being lied about, having my daughter ripped away from me for a short amount of time because I had a whole lot of evidence to prove otherwise. But that brings up a strong point, is that if you are going to make these allegations, they better be true and have some kind of evidence, because you can't just go out there and start ruining people's lives. I wish these kind of things didn't happen. There are very ugly, creepy people out there that just like to prey on others. And people end up getting hurt. So if that is the case, if you literally legitimately are a victim, tell somebody, find witnesses, anything. Go to the hospital. Don't wait. It might be one of the hardest things you ever have to do, but it's going to be your saving grace in the end to get that proof out to the public. But anyways, if he does get put onto the Supreme Court, I think it's probably pretty much, concrete now. This will have emboldened him. These feminist groups, Democratic Party, whatever the case may be, they've now will have made an enemy of this man. And whether he wants to admit it or not, is trying to go there or not, he's going to have a vendetta. And so, yeah, it's pretty much a sure bet now that if his vote is what tips the scales, Roe versus Wade is getting tipped over. It's getting overturned. But I think that's kind of going to be only the tip of the iceberg, because I think anybody that comes in front of this man now with issues as far as like women's groups that are giving out money for legal defense and basically helping to ruin men's lives based on the asinine allegations of women that just manipulate for the sake of manipulation. They enjoy it. I know, because I've personally gone through it, and it didn't have, like, file full of evidence stating how much of an upstanding, good man I am. And yet I'm still having to deal with it. I've still barely got my good name intact with all of that evidence out there. So I think a lot of cases that are going to be brought to bear and put in front of this man, I think women are going to be losing a lot of those resources. That sucks because there are a lot of women out there that are victims and they do need these resources. And so the repercussions of these shitty women that are out there trying to manipulate the system, they're gonna lose it for the rest of them. So I guess honestly you need to check the people around you. Whether they're your friends or not. No, don't instantly believe them just because they're a survivor. I mean, if they got proof, they got pictures or scratches or something, or like a hospital, diagnosis or whatever, they got checked out, they got police reports, witnesses, something, then yeah, okay, great, back up your friends. Be there for them, but don't just instantly take their word for it. Because they're ruining it for the rest of you. And the other thing is check yourself, analyzing what you're doing. It's one thing to go out and have a good time, but when you're out on the street in these ridiculous little vagina hats, think about what you're doing. Think about the example that you're setting. Is it classy? Is it something somebody's going to respect you for? Probably not. They're probably going to look at you like a joke because you look like a joke. I want to hear your message, but when you're wearing a vagina hat, I turn the other way because I can't take you seriously. I was talking to a group of feminists the other day. Not the extremist type, just the ones that, they are very independent, work hard, and believe that, fair share for a fair amount of work. I'm right there with you. But, the conversation, it directed towards these girls that are out there. Well, they brought up this one girl that they saw that was in like a pair of Daisy Duke cutoffs that were, they may have not have even been shorts at that point. They were like a denim thong, denim thong and fishnet top with nothing underneath and everything hanging out, and still having this arrogance of, how dare you look at me? How dare you objectify me? Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? You're walking down the street looking like a whore on the corner, and you actually have the audacity to be pissed off at people for objectifying you and looking at you like the meat you are presenting yourself to be. Check yourself. Look deep inside and decide what you're trying to say, to the world. Because, if you're trying to say, hey, I'm a slut and I don't deserve respect, well, you're achieving it. But if you want people to respect you and look at you like the strong, independent, classy woman that you're trying to portray, well, then do that. Look in the mirror before you go out the door and decide, is my denim thong and my fishnet top and my vagina hat going to garner me the respect that I'm really looking for? Oh. I hope things go well in the coming days. I really do. Because I got a lot of female friends and family around me that I don't want to see get hurt in the backlash of all of this. But it's not looking good. And I'm really really terrified for the outcome of it all. Because it makes me have to, analyze what I'm going to tell my nieces, or my daughter, when they ask me why things are the way they are. And what am I going to do? I'm going to pull up YouTube videos pointing back at crap like this and go blame them. Blame them. Because they weren't the strong women that were trying to get you your equal rights, that were trying to get you a fair shake at life. No. They were out there maybe not intentionally making a joke of it all, but they're looking like jokes. I love you guys, and I'm hoping for the best.